Hi everybody, my name is Leslie. If you don't know me, I have a website called gotokitchens.com, and I am just going to guarantee you right now, at some point in this scope, you're probably going to get to witness me cry. Because this is, I'm not going to start out crying though. This is a very important subject to me because I am a 2.9 year cancer survivor. This is a very personal journey for me. I did a combination. I'm just going to give you a quick background. By the way, thanks everybody for who is joining in here. I'm going to be happy to answer your questions at some point in this scope. I would like to get through my message. If you don't mind if I do that, you're welcome to comment as I go along. And I will be happy to answer any questions that you have whatsoever about my journey and what I know about breast cancer. So, first of all, I would like to say that a lot of people would expect me to be something like, because I'm a wellness person, they would expect me to be a anti Komen Foundation or anti chemotherapy person or something like that. The first thing that I want to say about breast cancer awareness is that it is a very, very, very personal journey. And if you know somebody or you are battling cancer of any kind, if you're battling it, it is your decision. The decisions that you make are for you. They are not even for your husband. They are not for your children. They are not for your dog. They are not for anybody else other than you. If you know somebody who's battling cancer, the choices that they make are up to them. If you think that they should not do chemotherapy, or you think that they should do chemotherapy, or you think that they should do radiation, or you think that they shouldn't do it, it is not up to you. And whatever that person chooses to do, the only thing that you can do at that point is support them. I told you I was going to cry. Sorry. The only thing that you can do is support them. My family, I absolutely thought when I made the decision not to do chemo, I thought my family was going to freak out. I thought that they were going to just go, oh my God, you have to do chemo. If your doctors want you to do chemo, you have to do chemo, Leslie. And I absolutely, with everything inside of me, before I even understood what chemo did to the body, or what it's, even why they gave you chemo for cancer in the first place, before I even understood that, I knew with every ounce of my body that I did not want to do chemo. And so I contemplated it. My story about, I need to give you some backstory. So 2.5 years ago, 2.9 years ago, 2 days before Christmas, if you've not read my story, I was diagnosed with 1B, type 1B breast cancer. That indicates the size and the aggressiveness that it has and the location. It has a lot of things actually to do with why they call it that. It was misdiagnosed 3 times. My first diagnosis was triple positive, which is a type of cancer that is really extremely aggressive in the body and can spread very quickly. The second diagnosis was that it was triple negative. Excuse me, the second diagnosis is that it was triple negative, completely opposite of triple positive. And that it was triple negative, which means that it has no estrogen or hormone receptors, and that it was HER2 negative, which is HER2 is actually a type of receptor in the cancer that allows the malignancy to grow faster and quicker and to spread faster through your body. So they said it was triple negative. And then the last diagnosis is that it was the best kind of breast cancer that you could have, which was estrogen negative, progesterone positive, and HER2 negative. So we had no idea what we were dealing with. That was 3 different labs that gave me 3 different diagnoses. So when we talk about awareness, my platform, Yeah, right? My platform, right, Bren? My platform is that of one of being an advocate for yourself. If you go to my website and you read the Meet the Hands page, where there's a funny picture of me like this, if you read the Meet the Hands page, then I talk a lot about this. And I talk about being the CEO of my cancer. So through my journey and through these misdiagnoses, I needed to make a decision. What do I do? So I have cancer. Actually, after I was diagnosed, I left it in my body for 2 months because I could not make a decision on a course of treatment. We had a big trip to Hawaii planned, and you guys know how important Hawaii is for me. And so we had a big trip to Hawaii planned, and I wanted to go on that trip, and I did not want to have a surgical wound while I was on that trip. And so, but the doctors, what they initially wanted me to do was to do a double mastectomy. They wanted me to do a full course of very difficult type of chemo. They wanted me to do a full course of radiation, which is 6 weeks of full radiation plus 3 boosters at the end. They wanted me to do 5 years of tamoxifen and 10 years of a drug that I quite frankly can't remember the name of. And so they wanted me to do everything that they could possibly do to throw at the book. And the reason for that is because they did not know what kind of cancer it was. They could not. No one could identify it positively. After 3 diagnoses, no one could identify it positively. So, this is the type of cancer we're dealing with. So let's just throw everything at it, and then hopefully you'll be okay. And so that seemed very counterintuitive to me. And so I took 2 months to decide if I wanted to keep my breast, which I did. I decided, took 2 months to decide if I wanted to do chemo, if I wanted to do radiation, if I wanted to do all the other drugs that they wanted me to do. Thank you so much, Evan, for putting that up there. And so the awareness part of all of this comes from being aware of what you want to do about a situation like this. And I'm going to talk about this in a general sense of just any crisis that happens in your life. It is really just your decision. And so it is always your decision to choose what you want to do. And so my best friend, that's right. My best friend gave me a book, and to this day, I don't care if I'm a billionaire. I will tell you that I will always tell this story because I think it's so powerful. It was always my decision, and she respected that completely, but she did try to fortify me with information so that I could make a good decision. And I thought that that was a beautiful thing for a friend to do. And so she gave me this book. She said to me, Leslie, I bought this book like a year ago, and I have no idea why I bought it because it's a whole cancer story. And she's like, now I know why I bought it. And so it's Crazy Sexy Diet by Chris Carr. And I had never heard of Chris Carr ever in my entire life. I didn't know who's Chris Carr. So she gave me the book. And when you're diagnosed with cancer, there's 3 things that happen to you. Number 1, you are so full of fear that it's hard to control. And I am not a fearful person. I do not get afraid of a lot of things. I live in the light. I've hardly ever in my life lived in the darkness. I'm very positive. But I was scared out of my brains. I could hardly function. I could not speak. I could not work. I could not have a relationship with my husband. I was scared out of my pants. It was ridiculous how terrified I was. So that's the first thing that happens. Number 2, they try to railroad you through all of the processes. They try to get you to do surgery within a week of being diagnosed. They give you all these options, and they're just covering their butts. I am not blaming doctors here. Let's just get that right out. My doctors were amazing. They took amazing care of me, but it was up to me to make a decision and to find out what was what. And then the third thing that happens to you is that you get your mortality starts to set in. You start thinking about death a lot. You start thinking about, well, this could kill me and I could die. Well, yeah, but quite frankly, you could go out in your car and drive down the highway and die as well. But you don't get in your car every time and think about dying. So why do you dwell on dying when you've been diagnosed with cancer? And that's because of the fear that is set into your body. So anyway, so my friend gave me this book, Crazy Sexy Diet by Chris Carr, and I was grasping at straws. I was trying to learn and do everything that I could do to try to understand what was happening to me. I wanted to understand why I had cancer, and every doctor will tell you, well, you may never know why you had cancer. Really? I don't accept that. That was not acceptable to me. And so I read Chris Carr's book, and of course she's living with cancer in her body, and she's amazing. And I read her book, and like, I don't know, 3 or 4 chapters in, she talks about being the CEO of your health. And I won't use the words that she used here on Scope because I'm not going to do that. But she talks about being the CEO of your health. And that was so powerful for me, and it was something that I could relate to so strongly because I had already been through the barrage of doctors. I mean, you get upgraded when you have cancer. You get upgraded to like 50 new doctors, and thank you so much, Evan. You get upgraded to like all these new doctors, and you have to make all these decisions and everything. And so when I made a decision within 5 seconds of reading that statement that was it. In fact, I walked right into my husband and I was like, I just want you to know that I am now the CEO of my cancer, and I'm in control. So I'm making the decisions, and it did not end all be all with me. I was not like, this is it. But I was confident that I could make with my doctors, that I can make good decisions for me. And so that was part of my awareness. This is what breast cancer awareness is. This is when I became aware. This is when this is when I chose to become aware of what was happening to me. And so when I did that, when I became the CEO of my cancer, and I marched into my doctors under my next appointment and said, look it, here's what's going down. And I told them, I was just people are afraid of their doctors, and they have no need to be, because that doctor actually wants you to take control and to take it and be responsible for your life, or at least my doctors did. And they responded very well. And I said, look it, I have read this book, and I'm going to become the CEO of my cancer. And thanks everybody for who's coming in. So, and so they actually took that on themselves, and they were like, okay, she's the CEO of her cancer. And they would joke about it. I would walk in for an appointment. They're like, oh, here comes the CEO. I was like, yep, that's me. And so I told them all that that's what I wanted to do. And I asked them to be completely honest with me. If I don't do this, what's going to happen to me? If I do this, tell me everything that's going to happen to me. And so I went from there, and I actually hired a natural doctor, or a naturopathic doctor. His name is Jason Barker. Thank you so much. His name is Jason Barker, and he's amazing. And I hired him, and we went through several consultations. He was not a cancer health and wellness professional, but he understands the body so well. Thank you, Evan. He understands the body so well that I could tell as soon as I started speaking to him that he was there for me, and that he wanted me to succeed and to beat this. And so we had tons of consultations. We talked a lot about raw. I mean, just raw, like, you know, what happens if I have my boobs removed? And he's like, well, I wouldn't have my boobs removed. And I'm like, you wouldn't? He was like, I'd tell my wife not to have her boobs removed. I'm like, well, I'm not having my boobs removed. And so I talked to my doctors, my medical doctors. What if I don't have my boobs removed? And they gave me all the scary facts, and they gave me all the positive facts of that. And so I took that information, and I put that into my brain and made decisions based on what I was being told. So to be aware of cancer is one thing. Cancer is not a pink ribbon. I'm sorry. I'm just going to say it. It's not a pink ribbon. It is not a pink t-shirt. It is not any of those things. Thank you so much for inviting followers. It is not any of those things. It is not a pink t-shirt. It is not a pink ribbon. It is not any of those things. Cancer awareness is being aware of what your body is signaling to you. Your body is constantly telling you things. It's constantly giving you signals. It's constantly releasing clues of what it needs, what it wants, and what it desires. And so when you pay attention to those things, you can help prevent things like cancer. So for me, cancer awareness is being aware that every one of you have cancer in your body. That's what being aware is. Thank you for inviting followers. That is what being aware is. That is the number one awareness, is to know that cancer does live in your body, and it's either turning on or turning off. And when it turns on, it's going to develop a tumor. It's going to settle in your blood. It's going to settle wherever it's going to settle. It's either, usually it's one of those two things. It settles in your blood, or it develops a tumor somewhere, or sometimes it does both. your lymphatic system as well. So, sorry, Edison just jumped. There's a fly and he just jumped and it was really funny. It caught me off guard, so I apologize. Edison's my dog, by the way, if you don't know me. So just knowing that, being aware that it is in your body. And so your body at some point is going to make a decision to leave the cancer receptors off or turn the cancer receptors on. And so once it turns it on, it starts to overproduce. Well, I'm not going to bash them. I have to tell you, I refuse to bash these industries and these fundraising communities, because they do help people. And I will tell you that the Komen Foundation, I've been self-employed most of my life, and the Komen Foundation paid for pretty much, because we're a small business, and so our insurance was not great. And so the Komen Foundation stepped in and paid for a lot of my surgery. And I'm telling you, it's one of the most beautiful things that they do. They pay for women and men. They pay for, they relieve some of that financial stress off of them. So I can never, ever, ever bash them. But cancer awareness is not about that pink ribbon. It's fine if you want to use it as a memorial. It's a beautiful memorial. I actually have a t-shirt that I'll wear. I'm speaking live in Aurora this weekend. But yeah, no, they were amazing. Komen was amazing to me, and I will never forget what they did to me, relieving some of that financial stress off of me. So, then my practices didn't really line up with what they were thinking. They were going to actually use me as a spokesperson. And then when I decided not to get a mastectomy, no kidding, it was kind of like, oh no, we're going to go with somebody else. So no joke. I'm not bashing. I'm seriously not bashing them though. They helped me tremendously, but you just have to think about that. They're thinking like a marketing firm or like a corporation would think. So they're trying to do what's best for them, but they do help a lot of women. So please do not, if you give to them, please don't stop giving to them. Because there are women in need out there and there's nobody else that's doing that sort of thing. So just keeping that aware. Their research and their developments and things like that, I'm not sure. I don't know enough about them to know if they are, if they're doing best practices, if they're actually truly trying to find a cure for cancer. So I don't know about that, but I do know that they help women on a daily basis who are diagnosed with cancer. They provide nurse navigators that navigate you through the system that are little pieces of gold heaven. They are amazing women and men, actually, that help you through that process that you just want to grab and hug. I still talk to mine. She's amazing. I love her, love her. So anyway, but it's not a pink ribbon. Breast cancer awareness is more about being in tune with your body. It's more in tune about being who you are and being centered with your body and understanding what your body is trying to tell you. I probably had warning signs way before my breast cancer developed telling me that something was not right in my body, that there was an imbalance. And for me, it was something like, thank you for inviting followers. For me, my signals were, I was constipated all the time. My periods were irregular. My breasts were, you know, what signs? I knew you were going to ask. So here they are. My period was irregular. I didn't have the energy that I probably should have had at certain ages. So, you know, in my early 40s and in my late 30s, I mean, I was lacking energy. I can tell you now, if you saw pictures of me before I was diagnosed with cancer and you saw pictures of me now, you wouldn't notice, like most people would not be like, oh my gosh, you look so different, but you would notice a glow. You would notice a light and you would notice a glow. So what I like to say, thank you, Evan. I like to say is that cancer was my blessing. It changed my life forever. Dang, I hate that I cry so easy like this, but I'm super passionate about this. It changed my life forever. And I could have let it change my life or even take my life if I had succumbed to its fear. Thank you so much. You guys are sweet. If I had succumbed to its fear, if I had succumbed to its oppression, if I had let it rule me instead of me ruling it, it could have taken my life very, very easy. Thank you so much. You're sweet. Yeah, but I would tell you, I mean, if you looked at a picture of me before and you looked at a picture of me now, you would see the difference. I look healthier. I feel healthier. Yeah, it's happened for real. But yeah, I feel healthier. I am healthier, obviously. So when I began to take hold and realize that my body was sending me signals, now I don't want you to get all freaked out. First of all, don't get freaked out that I said you have cancer in your body and run around and think about that you have cancer in your body, because that stress is dangerous. So don't do that. But you do have cancer in your body. Number two, don't think that if your periods are irregular like mine were, or that your breasts are dense or anything like that. Thank you. You're sweet. Thank you, Stephanie. um, but please don't run around thinking, oh my God, I have cancer. So those are important statements for me to get out there. The stress that you cause about worrying about things like that, those things will come upon you. They will get you. If you sit around and worry about, I'm going to get in a car wreck, 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 or I'm going to lose my job, I'm going to lose my job, I'm going to lose my job. Chances are you're probably going to lose your job, or you're going to get in a car wreck. Or in my case, I was worried about getting breast cancer. And you know why? It was very vain, actually. It's because I love my breast. There, I said it. I just said it right out loud on Periscope. I loved my breast. For my age, they look amazing. and quite frankly, it was one of the things I was always terrified about. I was just terrified about getting breast cancer. There's not even a history of breast cancer in my family. And I did, and I created my own reality. I used to dream about telling, I would literally dream at night that I had to tell my parents that I had breast cancer. And it was because that fear was so deep inside of me. And bingo bongo, there it is. I have breast cancer. In fact, when they told me I had it, I wasn't even really shocked. I was like, yep, I could have told you that. And so I manifested it in my life. So now what I'm doing is I'm manifesting light into my life. I am manifesting happiness in my life. I am manifesting prosperity in my life. I'm manifesting, I hate that word prosperity, but I'm not talking about financially, actually. When I talk about prosperity, I talk about an abundance of ways to be able to share my message. That's what prosperity is to me. So when Periscope came online and I found it and discovered it, I was like, this is it. This is what I do. This is who I am. This is what I want to do. This is how I'm going to share my message, because I can look you in the eye and I can tell you and I can cry in front of you and you can see my sincerity about how I feel about this. And that's why I love this social media so much. I love it. Love it. So there's my journey. So don't walk around in fear that something bad is going to happen to you, because if you do that, something bad is going to happen to you. If you manifest it, it will happen to you. And I manifested it in my breast cancer. And so a lot of women walk around, this is part of the awareness that I am a little bit against. Again, I'm not bashing, but this is what I'm a little bit against. They put it in front of your face and they tell you that if your mom had breast cancer, your chances of getting breast cancer are very high. They make you do testing every year, and they have a lot of, thank you so much, Evan. They have a lot of anxiety about getting mammograms on a yearly basis because there's so many false positives. I wish you could too. I would love that. There's so many false positives that they hand out because they're trying to cover their butts. They need to make sure. I can tell you that if you've ever had a mammogram and you've gone from mammogram to ultrasound to biopsy, and it's a benign whatever it is, it's just a cyst or whatever it is freaking scary. It is scary. And I will tell you also, that's funny. You are, for real. I can tell you also that it's super scary when you also find a lump in your breast. That's how I found mine, just so you know. It was right over here. It was right underneath my nipple. And it was it was palpable. You could feel it. It felt like a little smooth marble. And so if anybody ever tells you if it feels like a marble that it's okay, mine felt smooth as silk. It was just a smooth little hard marble inside of my breast. And so that's right. And so I went for a mammogram. I went to my doctor. She felt of it. She's like, yeah, we better send you in for a mammogram. I was 42. I'd never had a mammogram. I was like, I'm fine. I don't need one. So went for a mammogram, and they did a mammogram and they didn't see anything. They could not see the lump, and it was there plain as day. And you could feel it plain as day, but they couldn't see anything. And so this is why I'm a little bit against mammograms. It's not because of the radiation. Most people think as a wellness professional, I'm going to be, anti-mammogram because of the radiation. That's actually not it. That is a gimmick, in my opinion. The amounts of radiation that you get in a mammogram over your lifetime is less than your cell phone. So, and your microwave and other things that you're exposed to on a daily basis. So, so I'm just saying, but this was supposed to be a short scope, and it's not at all, because I really want to get down into detail here. So, but they could not see it in the mammogram at all. So what happens to women, if I had not been more aggressive about it, what happens to women is that they go to their doctor, they send them for a mammogram, they do the mammogram, they don't see anything. And so the woman goes, oh, well, there's nothing wrong, and they move on. And then what happens is, if the cancer decides, not all cancer grows rapidly. Not all that tumor could have stayed the same size and stayed where it was and not done anything. And if I lived in Holland or Northern Europe, they would have left the tumor in and watched it for 6 months to see if it changed. If it didn't change, they would have left it in for another 6 months until they saw a change in my pattern. So, if the tumor was going to do anything, and I could have had it removed then if I wanted to, but anyway, I'm just saying it's different in different parts of the world. So, but they go on thinking that they're okay, that because the mammogram didn't show anything, that they don't need to go any further. But what you have to do is, I had to push and say, my insurance didn't want to pay for my ultrasound. We can feel a lump, and they didn't want to pay for it. And so, I was like, well, just forget it. I'll pay for it. Let's just do an ultrasound and see what this thing is. And so we did an ultrasound. You could see it plain as day, absolutely plain as day. And so, but most women would go away with a false idea that everything was okay. And then it would be a whole nother year that they have the possibility of that cancer growing in their body. And so this is why, and on the opposite side of that, a lot of women go in and they see calcifications in your breast, which is very normal for a woman, that especially a woman over 40 years old. There is some talk about that. I mean, there's actually some talk about that, and I'll address that in just a second. I actually had mine removed, but there is some talk about, cutting it and then actually having the cancer cells, explode into your system. So there is absolutely some talk about that. So, and it's a good thing to wonder. I wonder about it as well. So I don't worry about it, but I do wonder about it. But so women get false positives, and they go through all this amazing stress of, because they make you get the mammogram, they see something, they want to reschedule an ultrasound, and then they do an ultrasound, they see something again, then they want to reschedule a biopsy. So then you're like 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, 6 weeks of your life in total stress, thinking you might or might not have breast cancer. And I don't care what kind of woman you are, it's still stress. I don't care if you're like the most Zen person in the world and you're able to channel that energy, it's still stress in your body. And so it's the reason that I'm more of an advocate of you knowing your body instead of depending on other people knowing your body, because those people that feel your breast and do breast exams, they don't know what you feel every single time you do yours. And it's so important that you know your body and that you know what is not right for your body and what is right. So when something changes, you're in tune with it. So for me, that's the type of awareness that I want to project, and I want you guys to project out there, and I want you to have, is having that type of awareness. Now, I cannot guarantee you that if you eat healthy and if you do everything absolutely spanky right and you never deviate off of an amazing diet, that you won't have cancer. Some people are going to get cancer, and sometimes they're right. It is not your fault. Sometimes your body just turns on that receptor and the cancer develops. But most of the time, your body is sending you tiny signals saying, look this is a problem. I have a problem here, and you need to help me fix it. So that's my story, and that is my ideas and my thoughts about Breast Cancer Awareness Month and the little pink ribbons, which are great, again, great memorials, but not what breast cancer embodies. Breast cancer is something totally different than that little pink ribbon. So I just want you guys to think more deeply about it and how it applies to you personally. Either you know somebody or you're dealing with it or you have dealt with it yourself, and how you deal with it going forward. So does anybody have any questions for me? Can I answer absolutely any questions? I love you too. You're absolutely welcome. You've probably heard my story like a billion times, Hayden, but you keep on coming back for more. I would love to answer anybody's questions. If you have questions about surgery or radiation, and by the way, I had a lumpectomy, had the cancer removed. Thank you. You're sweet. I love that. I love inspiring people. It makes me very happy. What is my advice for a recently diagnosed patient? That is a great, amazing question. Thank you, Lori, for putting that out there. My advice is that you take your time. If you have been or you know somebody who is recently diagnosed, they are going to try to push you through the system very, very quickly. They're going to create a sense of urgency. I would want to know why they're creating that sense of urgency. Why do you want me to have surgery a week after you've diagnosed me? Is it because you think the cancer is spreading that quickly? Most breast cancer tumors do not develop overnight. They have had some symbiotic idea of developing for over 5 years. So you've had some cellular damage for typically more than 5 years, or 5 years, 5 years minimum sometimes, depending on the breast cancer. That is not, there is an exception to every rule. There's an exception to every rule. So awesome. It's a great book. You're going to love it. It's an amazing book. She's to talk about inspiring. Holy cow. She's like mega inspiring. So she's an amazing woman, amazing woman. So, so for a newly diagnosed patient, my first thing of advice, which is going to go contrary to the medical advice, is to slow down, to think about what has happened to you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I love to inspire people. It makes me so happy. It's one of my biggest goals in life. So, but to slow down and think about what's happening to you, make good decisions. Don't make hasty decisions. Do not let fear rule those decisions. If you let fear rule those decisions, you will be boobless, hairless, and a lot of other things. And burned. So my advice would be just to slow down. So top 3 tips to keep your breast healthy. Love it. Oh my God, Laura, you are throwing down. I love it. So my top 3 tips are get good, healthy fats. Number 1, get good, healthy fats. Number 1, make sure that you have healthy fats in your diet. You have a lot of lipids in your breast. Your breasts are there to produce milk for childbearing, and so you have a lot of lipid cells in your breast, and so they like healthy fats. That's very, very good for it. So that would be number 1. Number 2, I would, this is gonna, and I'm wearing a bra right now. You can I can kind of see it through my shirt, unfortunately, today. Sorry about that. But wrong choice of bras. But I would recommend that it's okay if you wear Chris Carr, A Crazy Sexy Diet. It's okay that if you wear an underwire bra. I wear underwire bras probably a couple times a week, and I like to, because of t-shirts or whatever, and it keeps them in place and they don't move around a lot. I'm sorry for the males that are on this scope. Evan, I'm sorry, but we're going to talk about boobs now. So if you're uncomfortable about talking about breasts, you should walk away now. I'm not going to show you mine or anything, but the underwire actually, proper fit is good, yes, but the underwire actually sits right, and so does your bra, all your bras do, sit right along a cluster of lymph nodes that are right under your boob, and so it presses on them all day long. And so, so I would recommend when you get home, maybe not obviously, is to not sleep in your bra, to wear a underwire bra as minimal as possible, and to get you some nice bras that allow your breast to actually move around a little bit. You also have a lot of muscle in your breast. A lot of women have this idea that you need a sturdy bra so that, right? Yeah, it is great. You need a sturdy bra to keep your breast firm and to keep them from sagging. That is an absolute false statement. The best way to keep your breast firm are actually to go braless. I I know, he's funny, right? Is to actually go braless. That is the best way because it helps build the muscles that are underneath or lying underneath your breasts, which are going to help hold them up and keep them closer to the chest wall and keep them from sagging, basically. So, of course, if you breastfeed or anything like that, you're going to have some sagginess anyway, but that is actually going to help keep them closer to the breast wall. So I would highly recommend that you think about your bra choices. Breast massage is a great way as well. In fact, my partner that I do the breast talk with, we call it Girls Night Out, the Girls Night Out. We talk about breast health. And so she talks about a breast massage that is amazing. The other thing that I want you to think about is I want you to know your breast. I want you to absolutely know your breast backwards and forwards. I want you to look at them. I want you to touch them. I want you to press on them. I want you to bend over and look at them. I want you to look at them from the side. I want you to look at your armpits. I want you to look at them and touch them and feel them and know what is right and what is wrong. Because had I not been doing that, I might have mistaken that tumor that was there had been there for a while. And it actually had been for a while, but it actually had, we think that it had moved closer to the skin. Plus I had lost about 15 pounds after I had found it. And so we think that that's another reason why I had found it at that point in my life. But it had been there for a while. So absolutely know your breast. Look at them. You know, they have breast massages that are breast exams, you know, that you can go online and find whatever and look at them. That's great. And I do recommend that you feel and look at your breast, and just remember that your breast has a tail that comes up towards your armpit, like this way right here, and that you need to feel all the way up into this area. And then plus all of your lymph nodes are here all the way around, all the way up, and actually surround your breast. And I can't remember how many there are. I think there's like 36 or something, maybe more, you know, around lymph nodes around each breast. And so that's very important that you know your breasts, and you need to check it different times of the month. Do not do your breast exam the same time every single month. That's my number 3 tips. If you are doing breast exams, and you should be, then don't do them at the same time every single month. Your breasts change throughout the month, and you need to know what's normal when you're having your period, and you need to know what's normal when you're ovulating, and you need to know what's normal when you are just in between all of that. So you need to know what your breasts feel and look like. You need to have a very good idea. So yes, that's a great tip. Thank you, Maura. Maura is actually a breastfeeding expert. So if you guys are interested, she has these amazing. So I know. Oh my God. You're right, Evan. It's so true that happens so often, is that women are afraid to touch themselves because, and I'm going to say the M word, because they feel like it's some sort of masturbation, and it is not. This is self-preservation. This is absolute self-preservation, and you need to know and understand your breast. I have been doing breast exams because I've been paranoid about breast cancer since I was a teenager. And so, yeah. Any changes in the area? Yes, so that's super important. I did not have any changes. There was no recognizable changes, if that's what you're asking. But yes, if you have any changes in your nipple or your areola. So one thing that can happen with some breast cancer patients, and if this happens, then you need to go quickly and see your doctor. So you have your areola like this, and if your nipple looks like somebody has tied a string behind it and pulled it backwards, that's called an inverted nipple. You need to go see your doctor. That is something that needs to be addressed. If you have any fluids, if you're not breastfeeding, or you're not lactating, or you're not pregnant, and you have any liquids coming out of your breast, you need to go see your doctor. You need to consult a professional, because especially if it's pussy or bloody or anything like that, that can actually just mean a clogged milk gland, but you don't want that to happen. So thank you so much, Evan. Evan's blasting it out there. I'm telling you. Repeat, 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 repeat. Does anybody else have any other questions about anything? I can tell you a lot of people ask me what was the worst part of my surgery. And the worst part of my surgery was having my lymph nodes removed. You actually cannot tell where they moved a golf ball size. It was like this big. My tumor was only about this big. My tumor was about as big as the end of my pinky right here. But they removed a golf ball size so that they get good clean margins around it, so that In other words, knowing that they got all the cancer and it was very close to my skin, and we were afraid that I was going to have a huge dimple, like inverted space in my skin. I don't. My breast just absolutely healed itself, and you can't even tell that I ever had anything done. In fact, my surgeon was so good that they had me sutured with a plastic surgeon, and you can't even tell that I ever even had anything done there. It's absolutely amazing. I have a little scar tissue that's a little painful, but where they did remove the lymph nodes, I have to tell you, I would never let them do that again. Now that I know about lymph nodes, I need those back. Can I have my lymph nodes back, please? They do that so that they can check them for cancer to see if they're clear of cancer. So I understand why they do it, but I really would like to have them back if they're done with them. So, although I'd have to have surgery to put them back. No, never mind. They can keep them. That surgery was pretty evil because it goes through, it's just a small incision, but they had to go about that deep into my body cavity to pull the lymph nodes. They took out 4 lymph nodes right in my armpit. It's called the sentinel node. So it was actually the lymph node that was actually being fed from the cancer. So whatever tissue was around the cancer, that's the part of that's the lymph node that was there. So yes, I've actually heard that. I've been using frankincense essential oil on it for about 4 or 5 months, and it has decreased tremendously. In fact, I was just in to see my doctor. Thank you so much. That's very sweet of you, Stephanie. I was in to see my doctor, and she was like, wow, what happened to your scar tissue? Have you been massaging it? I was like, no, I have been, but I've been massaging some frankincense in that area because, again, it's so close to the skin, and it is depleted tremendously. So if you ever do have lymph nodes removed, here's 2 things. Actually, I'm going to share 3 things that they do not tell you about surgery and radiation. And I can't speak for chemotherapy, I'm sorry to say. When you have lymph nodes removed, they're cutting into your armpit, which is probably like the 2nd or 3rd most nerve endings end right there in your armpit. So they cut through a lot of nerve endings. So you can get a lot of numbness up the back of your arm. I still have just little tiny, I mean, I can feel it, but I can feel that the skin feels different internally right there. But I had, I'll talk about that in just a second. But I had from my pinky all the way down into my armpit was completely numb. For the first year, my armpit, I couldn't feel it. I would put on deodorant and I was like, I can't feel that. I can't feel where I'm putting my deodorant. It was completely numb. But those nerve endings will find their way back and actually grow back. And most of the time, unless they cut a big one, will connect back and you get all the feeling back. But from my tip of my pinky all the way down the back of my arm, and especially right in here, the back of my arm and into my armpit was completely numb for quite a while, actually. I just got the feeling back in the back of my arm probably in the last 6 months. So, and it's been 2.9 years ago. So almost 2.10 years ago. I'm almost 3 years cancer-free. Woohoo! So, oh, I'm sorry. Good. Thank you for watching the replay. Yeah, so that's that. So let's talk about the antiperspirant and deodorant. You should never use anything that has aluminum in your armpits. Bottom line. If you look at the ingredients and it says aluminum on it, thank you, Mary. Yay! And it has aluminum in it, then you need to avoid it like the plague because it is something that you do not want to be putting in a very sensitive part of your body. The same thing will go for heavy metals that you find in sunscreens. I'm sorry, I'm going to rock the boat with that one, but it's true. Sunscreens are dangerous. You should not be using them. If you want sunscreen, then you need to search for a natural alternative to sunscreen and not use the ones that come over the counter that you buy at your drugstore or grocery store. They're dangerous. They have carcinogenic things that are toxic to the body that you should not be putting on your body. So there. Same thing with most mainstream deodorants. The link between breast cancer and deodorants, I mean, they're linking breast cancer to everything nowadays. So I'm pretty chill about this. I'm not going to just take a hard line and say, yeah, it's linked or whatever. There's some pretty compelling evidence about having breast cancer linked to some antiperspirants and deodorants. So yes, they are available and they are very effective if you're concerned about the sun and getting, obviously I'm not concerned about the sun. I like the sun. The sun is my friend. All things grow because of the sun, even human beings. So, yes. And that's a whole nother scope. That is a whole nother scope. Yes. So Anybody else have any questions about breast cancer? Vitamin D is critical. Absolutely. I do have a link between vitamin D deficiency and women who have estrogen positive cancer. So, hey, Marcy. You missed the crying, Marcy. I'm sorry to say. You'll have to watch the replay if you want to watch me cry. Proximity limit is what drives your curiosity on that. Yeah, I mean, but you have lymph nodes everywhere. So if you're putting any type of product like that, I mean, you have lymph nodes all over your body. So if you're using any type of toxic product, oh, yay. Thanks, Marcy, for saying that. That makes me feel better. Sometimes I feel like a moron when I break down in tears. I can't help it though. They just flood. I'll cry. I'm giving a live talk about breast cancer on Saturday and I will cry and I can't help it. It's just going to come. And if it offends somebody or somebody thinks that I'm weak because of it, that's just going to have to be how it is. I know I've done it 2 days in a row. So there, I got you beat. Oh, that's sweet. Thank you. Yes, I actually agree with that. If I see somebody cry, I'm like, that person rocks, but that's not why I cry. I just can't, I hate that I cry. I wish I could turn off the waterworks, but I can't. So one of these days, maybe I'll be able to tell my story without crying, but it's hard to do. So does anybody have any more questions about breast cancer and surgery or treatments or anything like that? Can I help anybody? I know a lot about chemotherapy. I know a lot about radiation. Do I have cancer right now? No, I'm not living with cancer. I'm cancer-free, but I did have cancer. I had stage 1B breast cancer, no lymph nodes involved. Yeah. So anybody, and that was 2.9 years ago, by the way. So anybody else have any idea about, or any questions or comments or anything? Yay. Yeah, I know. Yay to me being cancer-free. I'm so excited. I can't wait. Actually, a lot of people start dreading their yearly, they want you to do like mammograms every 6 months. And I told them no. And because I'm the CEO, so I told them no. And so I told them I would do an ultrasound once a year to have a look at my breast for the first 5 years. And so, if it runs in your family, that's a yes or no for me there, Marcy. I think it's more important to focus on which is what you're doing. And Marcy has a beautiful journey. You should follow Marcy. She does these beautiful scopes. She's on a wellness journey to heal her body and she's doing such a great job. And I'm so proud of her. But it's actually, Marcy, it's more important that you pay attention to the signals that your body is giving you instead of being fearful about other people's cancers. So don't worry about other people's cancers. So I should write a book. Lori, have you ever seen my writing? How old should you be to get your first mammogram? Oh boy, that's a tough question for me, Marcy. I would say that do what's comfortable for you. Don't let anybody talk you into it. Don't go by the standards. Your body is your body. If you, yeah, they do say 40, but if your body is telling you, or if you're living in fear of cancer and a mammogram will make you feel better about it, then go have a mammogram. If you do not live in fear about cancer, then I recommend that you just that you trust and know your body. It's to me, it's more important than, this is what my breast cancer awareness month is about. So, yeah, thermograph is another way to go for sure. So I've had a friend that did not detect on a mammogram or a sonogram or ultrasound and found it in thermograph. But I say know your body really well. I say understand your breast. If you have large breasts, sometimes it's hard to tell, especially if something is developing close to the chest wall. But your body will start to give you signals. They say that you can't tell when you have breast cancer. Well, I could feel mine, so I knew I had breast cancer. But there were other signals thinking back. There were other things that were signaling me that something was wrong. And I don't want to go in specifics about that because I don't want you to start being paranoid about what happened to me might happen to you. So I don't want to give you that paranoid feeling. But for me, it's just more about being aware of how your body operates. So, what are the signals that it's giving you? How do you feel? Are you lacking in energy? Are you abounding with energy? Are you having differences in your eyesight? Is your hair different? Are your fingernails, have they stopped doing something? Does my skin look different? Am I getting acne? I mean, these are all signals. Is my poop changed? Yes, you should absolutely be doing self-exams. Marcy, do your self-exams. This is one thing that I'm absolutely an advocate for, is doing self-exams, is to know your breast. And it's not because, I don't want you to go on a cancer hunt. If you go looking for cancer, you're going to find it. I'm just going to say that just like that. If you go on a cancer hunt, you're going to find it. So self-exams are not about finding a cancer. Self-exams are about being in touch with your body. And there's a lot of shaming going around because women feel like, in certain religions, and probably mine actually, feel like that self-examination or feeling their breast or looking in their breast is a type of masturbation, which is ridiculous. You need to stand in the mirror for a good long while and look at your breasts. Yes, we all have cancer cells. That's right. So if you go on a cancer hunt, you're going to find it. I'm just telling you. You're going to find it. So, because we all have it, and your body turns on and off receptors, and you never know sometimes when it's doing it. So yeah, that's right. Touch your boobs. So yes, touch your breast and know what they look like. Look in the mirror. Stand in the mirror. Look in your armpits. My favorite is absolutely what they tell you to do, which is one hand behind the head. Did you guys ever see that movie, Girls Just Want to Have Fun, where the guy is like doing the Tune in Tokyo thing? Okay. No, probably not. I'm the only lame person that loves that Sarah Jessica Parker movie. Okay, you know what I'm talking about? Every time I do this and I look at it, I can only think of Tune in Tokyo. So I love that movie too. Okay, because we're sisters. We work like that. The worst part. So, yes. So putting your hand behind, I know, it's so funny. Anyway, so putting your hand behind your head and doing Tune in Tokyo. All right. And having a good long look. The other position that's really great is to lean over, braless, of course, to lean over and let your breast hang and look with a mirror everywhere around your breast. Look at it. That goes for all your female bits, by the way. You should know them that well. All your body parts, you should know really, really well. You should understand. You should look in your mouth. You should look at your tongue. You should, yeah. You should know your body parts. So I'm just saying, you need to know. So use a mirror. That's right. So we decline a little bit here, but that's okay. Know your body parts. Know your female parts. Know what your breasts look like. That to me is more, when you're in tune with your body and you understand what your body is telling you, that to me is more powerful than any mammogram or any ultrasound will ever be, because you will know immediately when some trigger goes off. And again, I'm not a medical expert. This is just my opinion, sharing my girlfriend opinion with you. So, well, it goes for you too, Evan. You should know all your parts too. Okay, so this is supposed to be like a 10-15 minute scope and it's almost been an hour, but I am here for you guys. Does anybody else have any questions? Please do not be afraid to ask. Please do not. I will be happy. If you want to learn more, you can go to my website, gotokitchens.com. I have a long about me page called Meet the Hands. It is a long page, and I toyed with the idea of cutting it down. That's right. Know your parts. That's right. I toyed with cutting it down and simplifying the message, but I really felt compelled to leave it nice and long like it is. So if you want to know more about me, it's all in there in black and white. No, I don't ever hold anything back. I am what you see is what you get. So yeah, this has been like marathon scope. Any other questions that I can answer about breast cancer, surgery, breast cancer treatments, anything like that. So thank you, Evan. There's the website. Oh my gosh, Marcy wants to go there. I can tell. You're cracking up over here. That's a whole different scope as well, Marcy. Oh, thank you, Evan. Does anybody else have any questions? Anything that I can help with? That's right. That I can help with, anything that I can ease your mind about, anything that I can make you feel better about, or oh, Mary, that's funny. Mary, you've made me laugh out loud like 3 days in a row. Oh, that's so funny. A lot of women are fearful about touching their breasts because they're afraid that they're going to, hey, it's good to see you. A lot of women are fearful about touching their breasts because they're afraid they're going to find something. Oh my God, it's so good to see you. How's our girl doing? It's good to see you. Touching their breasts because they're fearful that they're going to actually find something. And that is nonsense. If you find something, then that's great. I mean, well, it's not great, but it's good that you found it and you need to go have it taken care of. Breast cancer is not a death sentence. In fact, if you let it be, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Sydney, see Deanna Sr. right there. Everybody who is the praying type, please say a prayer for her daughter, Sydney, the cancer slayer. Sydney is battling, has been going through treatment, actually just finished treatment, I think, and is battling blood cancer. And so you guys please say a prayer for Sydney. She is an amazing young lady. She's done several scopes on here and she blows me away. Every time I see her, I'm like, holy crap, this kid has got it going on. So, and her mother is not too far behind. And that's her mother right there at Sydney, the cancer slayer. Please, please say a prayer for her. She said here that she's having a few bad days. And so we want to help her get through that and uplift her, of course. Please only pray positive light into her life. Yes, that's right. Thank you. Oh, she has her own now. Sydney the Survivor. That's awesome. She's an amazing kid. I'm telling you, you did a good job with that one. She's an amazing, amazing kid. Yeah, she is simply amazing. I agree, Evan. So we're talking about breast cancer here. So girls, don't be afraid to find something. A lot of women don't touch their breasts because they're afraid that they're going to find something. Good Lord. It's, she's amazing. She's so cute and so full of life. I mean, just absolutely, there is no death in that child's future. She is full of life. She's an amazing, amazing kid. So don't be afraid that you're going to find something. That's ridiculous. If you do find something, then it's time to address it. And so, oh my gosh, that would be so fun. Deanna, can we do that when she's feeling better? Would she want to do a blab with me? We could have like a whole cancer blab and talk about how we kicked its butt. Yes, if you stay vigilant. That's right. Absolutely. That would be awesome. Evan, you're brilliant. Oh my God. Evan's brilliant. Everybody say Evan's brilliant. Okay, well, let's hook up. Let's do that because I would love, love, love to do a blab with her. Oh my gosh, we would have so much fun. It would be nuts. It'd be over the top. There you go, Evan. There's some ego stroking for you. Evan is brilliant, actually. Evan and I work very close together. If you don't know Summer's Wellness, please go find his scopes. Actually, he's rebranding right now. He does essential oil scopes, so if you're interested, please go find him. Evan and I work very, very close together. He actually does some work for Go-To Kitchens on the side when he's not busy building his own empire. He is helping me build mine, and so and I adore him and trust everything that he says. So, oh, good, good. Yeah, oils are amazing. Absolutely. We're both a big believer in oils. He knows a lot about them. I started out on that whole oil journey and then now I just use them. I don't really talk about them a whole lot, but I do use them every single day. In fact, I'm diffusing lavender and peppermint right now. So my favorite to keep me calm. I thought maybe it would help me to keep not crying and it didn't work. I need some oils to help me to keep me from crying. Wow. Look at that. We thought Sydney's was a hernia, ended up a tumor. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's what we all pray for is that we have, that bump or lump that we find is not cancer. And so, but people live in fear of a cancer diagnosis and it is scary, but you know what? It is also very beatable and it's getting more and more beatable every single day. Every single day we take a step towards it being more beatable. And so Yeah, yeah. That's what we were just talking about, is knowing your body, absolutely knowing your body. So, all right. So this has been a whole hour scope. It doesn't seem like that I can do scopes for less than the hour. So what did I say? Peppermint? Yeah. Peppermint to uplift, and lavender to actually not like calm down, but to balance you. I use peppermint to uplift and lavender to balance. So yeah. And Mary, if you're not following Summer's Wellness right there, you see that Summer's Wellness, you need to go follow Evan, because one, he's amazing, and two, he's so smart about essential oils. He's an expert. I mean, he's an absolute expert. So yeah. Oh, good. Wild orange is really good too. Yep, I love wild orange. Yes, I agree. So Deanna, if you will send me a message on Twitter, let's set up a time. You let me know when Sydney is feeling better and when she's up to it, and let's set up a time to do a blab, because I think between the two of us, we could send out a pretty powerful message of, look here, you can get through this. So, and I love spreading that message. So, and I love spreading that message of knowing your body and understanding your body. So yeah, absolutely. We had two very, yeah, that's right. We had two very different journeys. Sydney had a really serious journey. She's had a very serious journey. My journey was not that serious. It was life-changing, but it was not that serious as far as the type of cancer and what I went through. So that's, it may be, yeah, we should charge. No, I'm kidding. No, my mission is only that you just, have you heard of Chris Carr? You need to watch the replay. No, yes, Chris Carr is, the book Crazy Sexy Diet is what gave me the power to become the CEO of my cancer, because I think Chris Carr is so inspirational that she blows my mind. So she absolutely blows my freaking mind. So does anybody else have any questions? I'm going to stay on here another 3 minutes and then I'm going to go off. Does anybody? Yeah, she's amazing. Oh my God, she's so amazing. Does anybody else have any questions about cancer? Are you? Yeah, I've tried as well. I tried pretty hard, actually, Evan. She has a pretty big wall up that are her gatekeepers. Yeah, talk soon. Her gatekeepers are very strict. They are very, very hard to get through. So yeah, I tried to contact her too. Actually, Kira Oliver helped me try to contact her, and Kira knows her. I couldn't even get through. So yeah. Oh, well, it's probably because they weren't ready for the bubble that was about to pop with the juicing book that she just put out. So it's an amazing juicing book. I wish I could have been there at the opening, but of the little juice place. But anyway, any cancer questions, any questions about surgery, any questions about treatments, anything like that, I'll be happy to answer them. Anything? Okay, so breast cancer awareness is this. Breast cancer awareness is knowing yourself. It is not a pink ribbon. It is not a sales tactic. It is not, if you're donating money to Komen, good for you. I'm happy for you because they help a lot of women. They helped me financially, and I will forever be in debt with them. So they're a great place, but it is, yeah, I'll see you later. Thanks for being here. It is a great place, but breast cancer is not a pink ribbon. It is, awareness is knowing your body. Awareness is understanding how your body reacts and how it functions. Knowing when things go wrong and when things are going right. That is what, it's Go To Kitchens as well as my Twitter. Yes, absolutely. Yep. But it's knowing when your body is functioning on all cylinders and when it's missing. Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited. Oh my gosh, this will be amazing. Tell Sydney that I love her and that I am praying for her and saying her name every single day in prayer, that she feels better very, very soon. So, and that she kicks butt. Tell her I say she kicks butt and she's going to be fine. So yes, so cancer awareness is about knowing who you are and what your body does. And the reason that people know this, and the reason, like me, that understand this, is because we have taken time to take, thank you. Yeah. have taken time to take care of our bodies and to focus on what is good and what is bad for our body, and understanding not being perfect. This is not about being perfect. This is not about being absolutely 100% all the time, because you can't be. But this is about awareness of what your body and how your body functions. So please, 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 if you know somebody who has been diagnosed with cancer, if you've been diagnosed with cancer, please, please, please try to remove as much fear as possible out of the experience. And I know it's scary, and I know that the first thing you want to jump to is that this is going to kill me, because that's what I did. And I'm a very positive person, but I thought my cancer was going to kill me. I thought I was going to die. I thought that was my last Christmas. And it wasn't, obviously. And so, but if you let it, the tragedies in your life and the things that try to bring you down, the things that try to lay on top of you, those things can actually enhance your life and can bring you life and bring you light. So please, please, please take time to understand what you're going through, what your body's going through, and be aware that cancer is not a death sentence. It's just not, and it doesn't have to be. So some people will die from cancer. Unfortunately, there are people who are going to die from cancer. There are people who are going to die from a car wreck. There are people who are going to die from choking on a biscuit. There are people who are going to die swimming in the ocean. People are going to die of these things, and we're humans. And so you cannot have life without having death. So people are going to die of cancer, and it's very unfortunate when we lose anyone to anything. But just be aware that the fear that surrounds it, the urgencies that surround it, may not necessarily be your truth. So please, please, please take time to know and understand your body. And by all means, take control of your health. Your medical doctors and your health professionals, natural or otherwise, do not live with you every single day and cannot see every single function of your body. They only do tests to get a snapshot of what your body is doing. So please, please, please know your body well enough and become the CEO of your health. When you become the CEO of your health and you feel empowered to take care of your body, everything starts lining up. Hi, it's good to have you here. Everything starts to line up and everything starts to become what it's supposed to be. So please, please, please take time to understand your body, understand your wellness, understand what your health is telling you. If you're suffering from any types of diseases, if you're suffering from high blood pressure, men can get it too, absolutely, yeah, and it's not talked about a lot, but absolutely, anybody who has boobs, men, women, dogs, anybody who has breast can get breast cancer. So, so please do not just think it's a women's disease. That is another very good awareness point. Thank you very much. So please, please, please be the CEO of your health. Bye, Marcy. It's good to see you. You're funny. Thanks for making us laugh today. Thank you. Yes, thank you for pointing that out. I'm glad that you did. We actually have not talked about that here. So, but please be the CEO of your health. Take control. Be your own future. Do not plan on somebody else making your future for you. Oh my goodness, look at all these people that have jumped in. We're right at the end of the scope, and I was just about to leave, but I will open it up since there's new people in here right now. Does anybody have any questions before I pop off? Any questions about cancer? Cancer treatments, operations, anything like that. I will be happy to answer your questions. It's your fault. Well, that's a good thing. I'm not complaining. Yeah. Does anybody have any questions? You can be as honest as you want to be with me, and I'm going to be as honest with you back. As a cancer survivor, I have all the availability in the world to be honest with you about a cancer journey. So please, does anybody have any more questions? I'm going to leave here in about 30 seconds if nobody pops any more questions in. Hey, welcome in. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for following me. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So my name is Leslie. I have a website, gotokitchens.com. Trust me, there's nothing for sale over there. You cannot buy a thing. So please do not think that I'm trying to sell you anything. The only thing that I want you to buy is I want you to buy into your own health. I want you to buy into becoming the CEO and being aware of your body. That's what I want you to buy into. That's the only thing that I have for sale. So please go over, check out my website. If you're cooking my recipes, you're eating healthy, you can become a VIP, you can get a free ebook. There's all kinds of benefits, free benefits over there. Jesus loves us, that's right. Yes, thank you so much, Mary, for always uplifting me, always making me laugh, and your very fine story. Thank you very much. Look, I did it. I have watery eyes, but I didn't cry. Okay, so I'm going to sign off. I do a show every weekday at noon Mountain Time. It is about health and wellness. It's about cooking. It's fun. It's silly, and I goof up a lot. Like today, I made this mayonnaise, and it was a total goof. Anyway, that's okay. Actually, Mary, you're right. It did get a little thick in the refrigerator, so that's good. But I do a weekday scope at noon Mountain Time, so that's 11 Pacific and 2 p.m. Eastern. I do that every weekday, and we talk about health and wellness. And but as a cancer survivor, I just couldn't let Breast Cancer Month go on without me, thank you so much, without me coming on and saying a word or two about how I feel about breast cancer awareness. So thank you. God bless you as well. So I just, oh, wait a second. I know your name. Hold on. Rosemary. Is that Rosemary? Did I get it right? Rosemary, did I get your name right? I think we spoke in another scope, maybe Dawn's scope yesterday. Yay! Oh my gosh, I'm doing so well with names today. It's like I've had like some name alien jump in my head, and yeah, okay, my name alien has jumped in my head and helped me remember names or something. It's crazy. So it's nice to meet you, Rosemary. Thank you for coming in today. Okay, so you guys, I am leaving. I have to go to the post office. Yes, Herbalife, that's right. I remember now. I have to run to the post office and get my stuff, my loot that came from Hawaii, and do some other errands. I have to go get the stuff that I'm cooking tomorrow for you guys. So, hi, Tanya. It's good to see you in here. Tanya. I never know how to say names like that. I apologize. Yes, thanks for following me. I appreciate it. I'm glad that we met through Dawn. Dawn's amazing. I love Dawn. She's so truthful and so honest and so real and so genuine. You guys, if you're not following Dawn, Dawn Little, you have to follow Dawn. Dawn's amazing. She does a morning scope, and she's so full of information. If you like scientific information, okay, good. If you like scientific information, Dawn's your girl. Dr. Christine, those types of people are your girl. I am not scientific. I am practical. I have a lot of practical information that I pass forward to you guys that typically I've experienced myself, and so in my health and wellness journey. And so I pass on a lot of practical information. If you like scientific information as well, then you want to check out some of these other health professionals that are on here, because I'm not the scientific girl. So gotta eat your veggies. That's right. You said that was your weakness, and I was like, oh my gosh, I want my weakness to be veggies and fruits. That would be amazing. So maybe you meant a weakness in the fact that you don't eat them. I don't know. Okay, so I've been talking about breast cancer awareness. I just did a whole spiel on it. I even cried. And get your mammogram. Yep, if that's what makes you feel safe, then you should get your mammogram. A lot of women, they feel like that they have to have a mammogram every year to make sure that they're being safe, and that's absolutely fine if that's what works for you. So, but I do think it's dependent on the person. So, absolutely, what you're comfortable with. So, and I don't think that there should be any shaming for or not. A lot of people want to shame you into getting one or to not having one, and I am not that girl. I want you to do what's best for you. I want you to do what's comfortable for you. That's my platform on just about everything. So. Almost 58. Good for you. Yes. Yeah. Self-exams, even a couple times a month is good. So especially if you're still having a period. So if you're still having a period, then you should be doing self-exams a couple times a month. So I've totally depleted the room, except for the 4 of you that still love me and that are here. Not that everybody else doesn't still love me. I've just been on here forever. So it's a big subject, and it deserves my time. So I wanted to make sure that I gave it adequate time today. So I love you guys. As always, I want you to be well. I want you to be aware of your body, and I want you to be healthy, and I want to help you get there. So, and we do that with GoToKitchens.com and other people as well. I just want to be one of those stepping stones that you take. So love you too, Mary. You know that I do. You guys have an amazing day. Bye. Yes, you have a blessed day as well. You guys have an amazing day. Know that I love you, and that that I can't wait to see you tomorrow. I hate the weekends sometimes because I miss you during the week. Weekends. No, I don't ever hate anything, but all right. Love you guys. Have an amazing day.